Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nakya, and in today's video we are going to be talking about remote work and return to office. So lately I've been getting some, comments about people that want to get into data analytics and that they are looking for a remote job, and I'm guessing that they're having a hard time finding a remote job. So I just wanted to kind of talk about remote work as it stands today, as far as like in my field, and what I believe the future status of remote work is going to be. But first, let me just kind of go into my experience being a remote worker. So before the pandemic, I was like a typical office worker where I went into the office 5 days a week. With the pandemic hitting, we came home. We thought it would only be for a little bit, just like most people, but that turned into us being home and being fully remote for a couple of years. I believe in total I was fully remote for about 3 years, a little over 3 years. After about that first year of us being home during the pandemic, our company made the decision that, hey, your job is now going to be 100% fully remote. And a lot of people were happy with that. Some people not so much. I was kind of like, either way, but we were fully remote. And in last year, that changed, where the company direction changed to, oh yeah, you're going back into the office. So I understand people wanting to become remote, like want to work remote. However, I don't see that as the future for data analysts, at least not in the next 5 to 10 years. I more so see hybrid working models, which does require you to go into the office some. We are seeing a lot of things in the job market today where we're seeing companies that had previously told their employees that they would be 100% remote, and that is switching and changing. And my employer is no different. They're doing the same thing where, oh, you were previously fully remote and now we need you to go back into the office. But it's on a hybrid working model, whereas you go into the office 2 to 3 times a week and you work home the other 2 or 3 days, depending on how often or how frequent your work group is required to go in. So that is what I see as kind of like common ground between those that want to be 100% remote and the employers that are wanting employees to come back into the office. I think the hybrid model is a better working model for both parties. I don't necessarily know that, like, I would not put it past companies to say they're going to get rid of the hybrid working models and you would go 100% in office back to the 5 days a week. But I think we have a good chance of being hybrid for at least a few years. And just based on the amount of employees that we have, I don't see where we could all fit in our current office, at least where I'm at, 5 days a week for 100% of employees. I don't see that in today's world. But again, that doesn't mean it couldn't happen in the future. That's just my opinion. So when you're going and looking for a job that is remote, I think we're going to see less and less of that. I think you're going to more likely see either fully office or maybe hybrid models. And I would also be careful about choosing a job that is 100% remote, because companies can change their mind and potentially use that as a tactic to get rid of employees, because that's the way it feels today, where we're being told, like, if you want to get promoted or get a pay raise, you have to come into the office. If you want to be in a leadership role, you have to come into an office. So you mean to tell me you can't get promoted, or you can potentially not get a pay raise if you're not working in an office? And I know that I'm aware of the Dell situation where they gave their employees a choice of being 100% remote or coming back into the office, and those employees chose to stay home, but they're not eligible for, like, they can't get promoted. And I'm not 100% sure, but I thought I read that they couldn't get a pay raise. I could be mistaken on that part, but that is not sustainable, in my opinion, that you're just sitting at home and not eligible to get promoted and not eligible to make more money. I think that's absolutely wild. Like, outside is just getting more and more expensive. If you think about the cost of groceries and just the inflation that we've seen over the past couple of years, it's not sustainable to not be able to make more money. So you're either having to get a side job or, switch companies or go into the office so that you can be eligible to get raises or get promoted, And I understand that it's going to be hard for people because I'll say, at least in my experience at my company, a lot of people moved away from the office when we were told we were going to be 100% remote with these roles, because it's like, I want to go home and be with my family, like I moved to Georgia. I'm not from here. I don't know these people. I want to go back home. That's where my family is. That's where I know everybody. So you've moved back and there's not an office near you, or the company has closed the office that used to be near you, and now you have to drive further away to get to an office, And it doesn't feel good, having to go into an office after being told one thing and now the company changes direction. So I would be wary of looking and seeking out a position that's fully remote, where there isn't an office available, just based on current business practices, you guys. And I don't see a lot of companies that were office work before staying fully remote. I feel like a lot of companies are going to transition back to office work afterwards. You're going to have a few companies that are like, this model works best for us, so we're going to stay remote, but that's not going to be the case for every company. I can see them going to hybrid or back fully 100% in the office. So that's just my experience and my opinion. I do feel like it is being used as ways to eliminate employees, that if you can't come into an office, you can't work here. You can't come into an office, you can't get promoted. Like it feels like it's career at this point. Like, if you can't go into an office, your career and ability to move within the company is not there. You have to be more agile and be able to do that. But I also see it from the standpoint of the employee, where it's like, you told me this and now you've changed your mind. And I currently live 3 hours away from an office. So what do I have to do? Am I going to drive 3 hours, pay for parking just to come into an office twice a week? Or am I going to look to work for a company that's closer to me? I feel like that's what people are having to make the decision to leave companies, find something closer to them, because it's just not a viable option at this point. But I do understand people wanting to work remote, but I don't see that as something, at least for data analysts. And I will say, if you are a new data analyst, I wouldn't even suggest that you start off brand new in a remote position, because it is going to be hard, especially trying to learn a new role in a new company. I wouldn't recommend it, but to each their own. I just wouldn't recommend it. Like, I would definitely not recommend it if you're going into a data analyst role and you are the sole data analyst on a team. Absolutely not. Get your butt into an office if you can. And if you do find a job that is fully remote, think about whether or not this company has an office near you if they choose to change direction. I think it's important to take that into consideration. Okay, this is fully remote. I got this job. If this company decides 3 months from now that, hey, everybody has to come into an office, will I be able to do that? Where is their nearest office to me? Because you could be starting as a data analyst and 3 months down the road not even have that job anymore. So keep that in mind when you're looking for these positions, okay? So that's my kind of spiel. And also the other thing that I wanted to say that I'm seeing is that, like, for data analysts, like for jobs that I've searched, at least in Georgia, for fully remote, the ones that I've seen, they're looking for experienced data analysts that are remote. The current listings that I've seen, they've been looking at 8+ years experience. So they're not looking for brand new people off the street, like you just want to start off. So if they are looking for fully remote, they're looking for people who know what they're doing. That's not going to waste their time, that they don't have to do very much training on, but just kind of get you familiar with the company, systems, processes, that kind of thing. And then you're good to go. That's just my 2 cents. I'd love to hear what you guys think below. Leave me a comment. Like, were you remote during the pandemic and your company changed their mind currently and you're now going back into the office? Or were you an office worker, went remote, and now you're kind of hybrid? Like, kind of tell us below, what's your transition and experience been with remote work, regardless of the field that you're in. I'd like to know and be able to read that. So that's just my experience. Those are my thoughts. Again, I would not be surprised if companies that were 100% office work currently hybrid, I would not put it past them to go 100% back to the office. And I think if you are looking to get into data analytics, you should be looking for, in my opinion, I'm not telling you what to do, but in my opinion, I think you should be looking for positions where an office is available. So yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you like this video and this type of content, please consider subscribing. Leave me a comment down below, and I will see you guys in my next video.